song. 1, 2, what? Okay.
What's up, everybody? I'm Garrett the Trash Man. This is Homegrown Hustlers. Dylan's here for now. I don't know how much longer we're going to have him if he keeps doing things like that.
Back, alright! I don't even think those are the words.
That is exactly the words. Good work.
I might actually have that on my iPod.
Alright, dude. What's going on, dude?
Not much, dude. It's a good day.
What's up.
It's really warm.
Oh,
I was spray painting some roll-offs. It was really good.
If you ain't got spring fever, you ain't living right now.
That's right.
Trey's got shorts on. Dylan's got shorts on. You can count on me to probably not hardly ever wear shorts this summer. I'm a jeans guy. That's all there is to it. I feel exposed.
I'm more of like a Daisy Dukes kind of guy.
Better start doing some more squats then. Really get those quadzillas going.
It's true. I need to do more of those.
Thigh of the tiger.
Thigh of the tiger.
All right, we'll get this back on track, people.
Larson Waste is a good company.
It is a good company. It is the world's best organization. All right, that's what we're building here. The world's best organization.
Yes.
Deal with it. That's what we're up to. Larson Waste sponsors this podcast so we can be in your eardrums, in your car, with you while you're freaking pumping the iron. I really hope that you're pumping the iron after you have listened to us. That is what I'm telling you. You have to pump it to do good in business. And so now you freaking know.
That was Arnold, by the way. Guys.
Arnold, thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate it, man. It's good to see you always. I will see you later.
Yeah.
See Arnold. Oh, cool.
We have a pretty good relationship with Arnold. He comes in a lot.
He just rolls over to Snowflake, Arizona.
Just to say hi. Yeah,
he's
a good
cool,
guy.
dude. Yeah, we hang out.
So,
Anyway, he's an old man.
Yeah. What's on your mind, man, besides Arnold?
Oh, dude, is it rant time?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think what is on my mind is to tell people to not get discouraged when they are like have an intention that they're trying to do, and at times they misbehave as far as not pushing towards that.
You need a spanking.
They need a spanking for misbehaving. No, for example, today I was leaving my house. You know, I've got a really clear intention that I want my wife to have an experience of me that I'm loving, that I care for, and that I'm always there for, and that she's important to me no matter what. And I'm leaving the house, and I didn't say anything. I wasn't rude in particular. I just knew that how I was being in the whole situation was just not very, loving at all. And it was because the house was a little bit messy. It's like, you know, I was driving to work, and I'm like, man, I don't want her to have that experience with me. She hasn't said anything to me. I saw her later today, and she was totally fine with me. It wasn't like we had this huge blow-up fight, but I just recognized, like, man, I wasn't really that's not serving my intention, and I want her to have a good, and it was, I'm like, I've got a freaking 2.5-year-old running around. Like, the house is going to be out of order, like, at times. And, like, if I don't want it to be that way, there's times I can freaking clean it up. Like, I was lazy last night. I spent more time than I could have on Instagram. I could have got up and done some cleaning of the house, quick half hour. We've got it tip-top shape. And I didn't. And I wasn't awake to that this morning. And I was, not with my wife how I should have been, and left the morning that way. Anyway, what I wanted to get about that is, like, be awake to that and don't beat yourself up over it too much. I'm not one of those guys that's like, I don't know, oh, never hold yourself accountable, or like, you're perfect how you are. I don't know, I guess you are, whatever. Anyway, but I think lots of times if we're too hard on ourselves, it's counterproductive. So that was just on my mind this morning as I left my house, and so thought I'd share that with you.
I kind of did something similar to that. I realized I made an agreement with my wife, kind of. And the agreement was for her to wash her car, but I realized I made the agreement without, like, making sure she had the right tools to accomplish it, to kind of clarify everything like you were talking about. And so when the car didn't get cleaned, I was instantly mad, like, what the freak, you broke our agreement. Why would you say yes to doing it if you knew you couldn't do it? And I was like, well, I'm just as much to blame because I didn't,
Yeah, as a leader, it was your job to help her see you're accomplishing it in the future.
Even making sure that she was able, like, she had the stuff to accomplish it. And so she was just like, well, I made an agreement because I wanted to wash the car, but I didn't have the stuff to do it. How was it? And I was like, oh, gosh, yeah, fair enough. So. Well,
and that's, I love that because we've talked about agreements a little bit here, and that's a huge part of making the agreement is putting them in a space where they can see themselves doing it, because what that causes is for them to see themselves, like the issues that might arise in that, like, oh wait, I don't have the stuff. So like, that's cool, dude.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, I guess we can just throw it in as my rant, but
real quick on agreements, because I had another epiphany this morning that I want to share.
yeah,
And it'll be quick. So agreements, super important. We've talked about them a little bit. We'll talk about them more in the future. And what I've realized in myself is lots of times I'll make an agreement with someone, and if that agreement isn't honored or kept, I don't hold them accountable to like what we agreed upon, what would happen if they didn't. And I realized that's me not keeping my word. Like if we're like, hey, if you clean the car, like if you don't clean the car, like, man, we're not going to go out to dinner because X, Y, and Z. Like, that sounds a little bit silly, but whatever it might be. And then it was like, oh, you know, they didn't clean the car and I just never said anything. Like, I realized, like, man, that's not keeping my word, because I said I would be there to hold them accountable to it. So, I don't know. Seems simple and obvious, but it was, like, big for me this morning when I realized that, because lots of times I have a hard time holding people accountable because I have a fear that they won't like me after I call them out per se on it. So
yeah.
Anyway, sorry, what was your rant?
So my rant was kind of funny and simple. So for those of you who do work out and don't work out, for those of you that do work out, this might occur for you, and it might be something.
I work out.
Yeah. Hey, Arnold, can you tell us a little bit about what you do when you work out? So I've been talking to Garrett a little bit about this. In Snowflake, it's pretty cold in the winter, so I guess I'm back in college. I was working at my friends. You know, we'd always work cutoffs and stringers, and sometimes even just shirtless, and it was awesome. But then it got cold, and I started just wearing like a normal shirt and shorts and stuff, which is fine. But I started making kind of like the realization that I worked out obviously a lot harder when I was in a tank top, because the more skin I could see, the more like, oh wow, like I got some droopy tits going on, or like, you know, my stomach's looking a little flabby, like just because like there was no hiding, it was kind of more of a humbling thing. So I'm like, wow, I need to work harder, I need to flex this more, I need to keep this tighter, I need to get my form better, I need to lift heavier weight. And so today I wore a cutoff again, and it was just a good like humbling experience. Like, oh yeah, like I'm in shape, but I can be better. And so maybe I don't even know what I was trying to get at with that. I had to get that thought or intention at the beginning, and I lost it.
Just exposure leads to success.
Yeah, that's actually really good. I lost myself when I said saggy tits, because I don't have saggy tits. I don't know. I just pictured some old dude with some milkers just...
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say something to me?
No, Arnold, you don't have saggy tits, man. I think they're great. Anyways, try working out with a cutoff if you're lacking to find motivation. It's a good humbling experience. If you really want a humbling experience, take your shirt off and work out in front of the mirror. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It helped me a lot.
Dude.
I mean, like you said, when you go to OPEX, dude, everyone works out shirtless.
Dude, and they are yoked.
Yeah. So, do it. You'll like it. You'll see your biceps better, too.
See things for what they are, dude.
There you go. That's my rant. Just see things for what they are. No, don't lie to yourself.
All right. Love it.
A lot of rants today, but they were good.
All right, dude. So, for this podcast, we've got something that I think will bring value to everyone on here. And what we're going to do here, Mr. Dallin Smith over here has been quite successful on growing Instagram accounts. And if you have a personal brand, any type of brand, you know that Instagram can be kind of tough to build on. And so we're going to open this up to Dallin to kind of talk about, because I know the company that he's a part of, but was really a lot more a part of before he came here, is called Siphon Sound, and he really blew up their Instagram account, did a great job with that. As soon as he touched Larson Waste Instagram account, we really started seeing a lot of growth there. And my really only experience is with Garrett the Trash Man. It's under Garrett, Garett Larson. Follow it. That I've been like, okay, I'm intentionally trying to grow this, and this is my audience. And in conjunction with that Facebook account, which is blowing up, for me. Like, that's all relative, but it's like 300-400 new likes a week, which is cool. And Instagram is tough for me, because it's like, geez, this is really hard to build up. I feel like I'm doing a lot of things, putting a lot of value, putting time, effort into it, and it's just very small increment growth things. So what I wanted to ask you, Dallin, is like, man, do you like have a different strategy for Facebook and Instagram, and what do you do with Instagram accounts to help them grow?
So, two things. I was fortunate enough to, I'm going to start over. Two things. All right. Consistency, and then posting what you genuinely like. So first off, I was always consistent with Siphon, and like I was getting into, I was fortunate enough that the Instagram account and our company was something that I had a lot of interest in.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of came really natural. So I was posting a lot of dirt bike stuff, extreme sports, anything from dirt biking, snowmobile, snowboarding, street bikes, anything with moto, and kind of like you'd see in the X Games. And so naturally it came pretty easy because I liked it.
Yeah.
And what I started to realize when people had asked me for their tips and tricks, we did a bunch of tests on it, and I just was like, I didn't really, I mean, I guess I kind of have an eye of like what other people like, but genuinely I post things that I truly like. So when I was posting stuff for my page, or when we started posting things for Larson Waste, I kind of used a little bit of twist of what I personally like, and I'm like, okay, well, people might think that's cool, and then I kind of post what I think is cool, and it kind of adds like a uniqueness and a different point of view to then I think what other people might see, or maybe it is what other people see, but I just dress it up in a manner that's a little bit different and more appealing. And so that was kind of really what I started doing, and then take those good quality photos with something that I'm passionate about, and then just continually posting those every day. And then I got on a good schedule with Siphon. Depending on what we were doing like 3 to 4 Instagram posts a day. Add that out through the week, and you got
to step up my game.
Yeah, you've got like 15 posts a day. And then a lot of similar stuff that Gary Vee actually talks a lot about is engagement. So I guess that'd be my third point would be engagement. So whether it's someone commenting on your actual photos, or you going out there and commenting on someone else's photo. So I know when I was posting stuff for Siphon, there's a lot of times I'd use a lot of our brand ambassadors, which are professional athletes, and I would get on their page. I'm like, dude, this is so dope. I'm totally gonna share this and post it. And it wasn't really like I was doing it to ask for information or permission. It was just straight up like, yo, I'm doing this because I think it's so dope.
Yeah.
And those were just a few things that I started doing, and it just started clicking, dude. And then I guess my fourth point, sorry, I just keep adding on points, was no fear. Just trying things. Like maybe I did one hashtag today, and I'll do like 30 tomorrow, and then maybe I would tag 5 people, and then I wouldn't tag anyone, and just constantly changing it up, but at the same time being consistent. Going back to that first point.
Yeah, like always posting.
Always posting, just not scared to try new things. And
I can definitely relate to that because, like, man, the other day, for whatever reason, man, I was just feeling so good. I'm like hyped 95% of the time, but the other morning I'm like, I'm about to explode. I'm so freaking excited. I love what we do. I love this. And so, like, I got on there, I opened up the camera and, like, put it to my face and, kind of said that. And I'm not gonna lie, like, when I was about to post it, like, it was kind of, I don't know, it was so different than what I'm normally doing that I was like, oh, like, I had that fear.
mm-hmm.
I don't think it's turned out to anything special, like, it wasn't a piece of content that, like, went viral or anything, but what it did for me inside was, like, yeah, really good, like, hey, man, like, just be you on there, so.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I hear when you're saying no fear.
Oh, absolutely. Just be you. And something else, just a little pro tip and advice for those of you that might not be able to steal as much content. Because, for example, like Garrett the Trashman, it's hard for you just to go type in trash stuff and steal it, because you need to be authentic.
Yeah, like to that point that I kind of wanted to bring up, like, I
Mm-hmm.
bet there's other industries out there, people wanting to build where, like, if you take Gary Vee's $1.80 strategy where you go comment on people in your industry talking about, like, you can search all sorts of topics on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook around trash, and there's no one talking about anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, like, I bet there's other industries.
Oh yeah,
like
there's probably a lot of that. And so to those that are struggling to find content, actually Garrett's been a really good help on me. But Kyle Rawson, our marketing guy, he's amazing at it too. He was a big influence on me, just to say constantly film it. Even though you might not be thinking like, oh, I need this for an Instagram post, if it's something cool and that you like, and that's kind of honestly what helped me. I was already naturally screenshotting and taking pictures of cool trucks and dirt bikes and just like that sort of stuff that interested me. And so when it came time to post, I pull up my photos. I'm like, oh, that's so sick. I'm just going to share this because, like, I don't want to lose it and I want some of my friends to see it. So I post it, and then naturally more people started coming like, hey, post more of that. I'm like, oh, that's easy for me because I already have a ton of it. But I was constantly grabbing it.
Yeah.
And so if you're not constantly creating, then you're going to have a lot of, like, I guess you'd say blonde moments or stupid thoughts because you're like, I don't know what to do. But if you're constantly just like, I'm going to do what I said or do what I enjoy, it's just going to come. So there's a little bit of planning, I would say, for sure, that comes along with it because, like I said, you got to plan when to post in a way. You know, like I got 2 posts, but it's a lot easier if you're prepared, if you're constantly taking photos and stuff. But
Cool, dude. So, for a post, why don't you look at the camera and give us your 4 tips right away, and for the podcast, if you can remember all 4 of them, like just real concise.
Okay, so pro tips for Instagram. It will be consistency. I would say, how do I sum that up in one word? Quality of photo, so posting what you like. 3, no fear. And 4, what was the 4th one? Do you remember? Do any of you guys remember? It was kind of more of like a dumb one, just consistently taking the photos. Shit, I kind of forgot, to be honest. But the 2 ones would be, I'm a terrible motivational speaker, guys. I forgot my 4 points. But I was just going to stress the main 2 real quick for you guys. Just consistency and authenticity. How about that?
That works for me, dude.
Yeah, be authentic and be consistent.
And what something I wanted to say to this, the whole idea of like social media and everything. You know, you mentioned Gary Vee a couple times. I'm sure everyone follows him. He's a beast, dude. God, it pisses me off sometimes. Anyway, the other day, it took me probably 15 minutes of just scrolling down, but I went down to like the very first post on Gary Vee's Instagram because I was just like, I want to see this right at the very first. How was it? And Gary Vee, man, he started off like the rest of us. He'd post something. It was weird looking at the pictures. Like he was all fat and looked like he was about to die in them. They were really low quality. It was like, you know, I think maybe a couple hundred likes. And it was like, man, this guy did start off like the rest of us. And he just threw a lot, like what you just shared, consistency and authenticity. Like really just massive amount of that.
Yeah.
Those 2 things has built what he's built. So, dude.
I don't know if this is worth any value, but I had a thought about this because someone asked me this the other day. On my personal Instagram, I don't really have a purpose. I honestly just do it because I like to do it. Mm-hmm. There's some people that like to do it for likes, and there's some people that like to do it for, you know, to grow, for like a brand building thing. And someone asked me the other day, so why do you do it? And so for those of you that be like, I want to do it, but I don't know why I need to do it, just do it kind of thing. And I think it helps. So basically what I'm saying is you don't have to have a purpose. I think if you just start doing, maybe you'll stumble along your purpose.
Maybe use it as like your rant was, showing up freaking in a tank top to the gym.
Yeah.
You can kind of use it to expose isn't the word